Welcome to This Explainer. You know, people so often talk about Hollywood like it's this completely exclusive, walled-off secret society. Like you either have to be handpicked by some mystical gatekeeper, or you need to drop a literal fortune on a fancy theater degree just to even get your foot in the door.
Oh, totally. But the actual reality of the industry in 2026 is entirely different. Honestly, it's a completely new game. Because of the massive boom in streaming platforms and digital production, anyone, and I mean anyone, with a smartphone can literally audition for a major TV show or movie right from their own bedroom.
The old gatekeepers? They're mostly gone. The level of access we have right now is just unprecedented.
Right, which brings us to the core question of our documentary journey today. What does it really take to become a working actor? Look, if you're a total beginner sitting at home right now, looking at this and feeling completely intimidated by the sheer scale of the entertainment industry, we get it, we really do. It feels like staring straight up at the base of Mount Everest.
Exactly. It's completely normal to feel that way. You might be sitting there wondering where to even take that very first step, right? Without falling into traps, without wasting a ton of money, or just getting totally overwhelmed by the competition out there.
So, to ground ourselves in reality here, let's look at this hard truth from working actor Diego Tinoco. Now, you might know him from his hit Netflix series, but what you don't see on that screen is the starting line. Almost no actor is an overnight success. Even the people you're binge watching on the weekend, they had to start at absolute zero.
Exactly. They all had to grind. They had to systematically build their toolkit, and they had to earn their career one tiny step at a time. And in this explainer, we are going to show you exactly how you can replicate that exact same build for yourself.
Okay, let's dive right into this. We are going to break this massive, intimidating journey down into a crystal clear, chronological framework that we call the 7 passi per recitare, the 7 steps to acting. Think of this as your step-by-step roadmap. We are going to guide you from the literal day you decide you want to act all the way to the day you actually sign with a Hollywood talent agent. There's no fluff here, just the highly practical, realistic stages of a true career transformation.
All right, let's kick things off with phase 1, the foundation and mindset, starting at ground zero.
So when you are a total beginner, the hardest part isn't necessarily memorizing your lines. It's actually just figuring out where to start without feeling completely lost. You need a safe place to fail and experiment before you ever put yourself out there in front of industry professionals. You have to build a base. So step 1 is gaining clarity. Study 3 actors you genuinely look up to. And I mean actors whose early careers you could realistically see yourself mirroring based on your specific look, your energy, and your vibe. Ask your friends and family what kind of roles they could naturally see you in. Go on YouTube, use ChatGPT, and study where these specific actors trained and what their very first gigs were.
Yeah, and that leads perfectly into step 2, start acting from home. Seriously, the most transformative daily hack you can do is to just read an acting book out loud while filming yourself on camera for 15 to 30 minutes a day. Don't even try to act it out yet, just read. You're learning the craft, you're developing your voice, and critically, you are getting comfortable with a camera lens just staring back at you.
Now you might be thinking right now, wait, shouldn't I just go do community theater? Well, let's actually compare the two. Jumping straight into community theater without any proper guidance can actually be dangerous for a total beginner.
It really can be. Without a solid foundation, you can so easily develop these big, bad acting habits that are incredibly difficult to unlearn later on. It's so much easier to change the roof on a house than to rebuild the entire foundation underneath it. Starting solo, filling your brain with books by Stella Adler or Sanford Meisner, and recording monologues at home is actually a much safer, much stronger foundation to build on.
Which brings us to phase 2, essential training and technique. This is all about mastering the camera.
Right, to master the camera, an actor has to learn a slightly harsh but absolutely vital reality. You have to know how to translate what you feel inside into behavior the audience can actually see on the outside. Diego shares this brilliant story about being on a movie set early in his career. The director stopped him and said, "You're not giving me anything." And Diego replied, "But I feel it inside." And the director said, "That's great, but if the audience can't see it, it doesn't exist." Wow, that is exactly what this phase is all about. So step 3 is joining an acting class. But wait, not just any class. We really need to contrast generic acting classes with specific TV and film audition technique classes.
Yeah, the crucial point here is this. If you want to act on screen, you need training tailored for the screen. Generic classes are fine for theory, for sure. But a TV and film technique class, that teaches you the actual mechanics of booking a job today. They teach you how to set up your lighting, how to frame yourself properly, where to set your eyeline off camera, and how to handle a live Zoom callback with a director without completely freezing up.
And that brings us to arguably the most important word in modern acting, the self-tape. A self-tape is a recorded video audition filmed remotely by you, the actor. It is now the absolute standard for major casting.
It's literally revolutionized the industry. You don't have to fly to Los Angeles for a first-round audition anymore. Diego mentioned recently taking a massive meeting with a major movie director who is sitting all the way in London while Diego was just hanging out at home in his living room on his laptop.
Mastering the self-tape is simply non-negotiable if you want to work today. Moving right along to Phase 3, building your actor toolkit. Let's talk about your professional assets. Now, think of this phase as opening up your storefront. If you don't have the right materials on display, casting directors are just going to walk right past you without a second glance. So step 4 is investing in high-quality headshots. This is where so many beginners completely ruin their chances. Showing up to a casting director with a cheap, poorly lit headshot is literally like Batman showing up to save Gotham in a janky, wrinkled party store costume. It just instantly ruins your credibility.
Such a good analogy. And step 5 is creating your demo reel. Now listen, you do not need expensive footage from a Netflix show to start. Just shoot a clean, well-acted scene in your self-tape studio with a reader. Keep the whole thing under 3 minutes. Trust me, great acting on a simple self-tape will absolutely always beat bad acting on $1 million production.
And a really key rule for those headshots we mentioned. You need to capture 2 to 3 distinct looks. And we don't mean costumes here, we mean specific vibes. Right, you want to show casting the specific lanes you naturally fit into. Are you the romantic lead? Are you the boy or girl next door? Maybe the edgy villain? You have to basically spoon-feed them the exact type of characters you are ready to book right now. Make it easy for them to cast you.
All right, that brings us to Phase 4, industry platforms and networking. This is where the industry lives.
This is a huge milestone right here. This is the moment you finally step out of the safety of your bedroom and plug directly into the digital Hollywood grid. You've got the training, you have the headshots, and you have the reel. Now it's time to put those assets exactly where the decision makers are actually looking every single day. The 2 massive pillars of this digital grid are Actors Access and IMDb Pro. Actors Access is where you will actually submit your profile for indie films, student films, and local projects so you can start building your on-set experience.
Exactly. And IMDb Pro is essentially the LinkedIn for acting. It's this massive vault of verified industry contacts. You can use it to track down the names of casting directors, agents, and producers. But hey, a major word of caution here. Do not submit yourself on these platforms if you are still completely green and untrained. If you give a casting director a terrible first impression, they might not call you back for years. So be ready first.
Okay, and here is a highly effective, modern bonus hack to help you stay ahead of the competition. You can actually use ChatGPT to research your favorite casting directors and find out exactly what shows they are currently casting.
Yes! Then you go follow their offices on Instagram and you turn on your notifications. Major movie and TV auditions get posted on social media as open casting calls all the time now, and it is 100% free to submit. If you are just paying attention, you can catch massive opportunities that most actors completely miss.
Okay, we've made it to Phase 5. Landing representation and agents. Getting signed. Getting signed is the ultimate goal for a beginner. And let's be real, it's easily the most stressful phase of the journey. Securing the talent agents and managers who actually have the power to unlock the biggest doors in Hollywood is the hurdle everyone stresses out about. But here's the secret. Once you have your foundation, your training, and your materials all dialed in, you are actually fully prepared to tackle it. Realistically, there are 3 primary ways to get representation. First, cold emails. You use IMDb Pro to find agents, pitch yourself, and send your reel. But remember, this only works if your training and your acting are undeniably good.
For sure. Second, referrals. This is exactly why being in a good acting class is so vital. Your peers can actually recommend you to their own managers once they see how good you are. And third, talent showcases, where you perform live in front of a room full of real industry reps.
Host Diego shared a very personal anecdote about this that I loved. He joined a talent showcase when he was just 17 years old, and he said it completely terrified him, but he had spent weeks training and preparing for it, and because his preparation met opportunity on that stage, that showcase is exactly how he landed his very first agent and launched his entire Netflix career.
It's so inspiring. It really shows that sometimes you just have to step right into the center of your fear to get to the next level.
But we do have to offer a very crucial reality check here.
Please, please protect your hard-earned money. There are countless industry scams out there that will charge you thousands of dollars for a showcase that yields absolutely zero results.
Yeah, it's a real problem. They prey on people who are just desperate for overnight success. The rule of thumb, you should only ever attend a talent showcase that is hosted through a legitimate, reputable acting studio where you are already taking classes. Legitimacy is absolutely everything in this business.
So, there you have it. We've walked you through the 7 PASI, from studying your idols in your bedroom to signing a contract with a Hollywood agent. The roadmap is totally real, the gatekeepers are gone, and the camera is already sitting right there in your pocket.
The only question left to answer is this: what role are you going to prepare for today? Seriously, don't wait for permission. Set up your phone, open a script, and take that very first step right now. Thanks so much for joining us on this explainer, and we will see you on the screen.